Alrighty, so we are 35 days away from Upper FFS. I've literally tried to record this a couple times, but I keep getting phone calls. We're gonna go down the checklist of like what's going on right now. We have a lot of neck pain. We've had this for like a week now. It's just always something that's going on before surgery that's like making me like, oh no, anxious. Like I have that going on. I had like the worst tummy ache the other day. I'm a tummy ache survivor though. And yeah, 35 days away from surgery. Look at this face. Soak it in. Soak it in. We're getting work done. We're getting cosmetic work done, baby. We're gonna look more femme. Now, we're gonna go over what I can just like, okay. Freaking I had a conversation with my therapist today that like I wish I could have had this surgery done sooner. Um because of multiple reasons. Obviously, just having it done out of the way, but like enjoying life more with this. Actually, be presenting as female, not feeling like, okay, I'm more trans femme s, like I'm a trans woman, like in public, and like people know I'm a trans woman. I could have probably got away with just being girl, right? Um, it's hard because like to like relay how you feel internally and like how like the world perceives you and everything, and like it's two different things, so it's like you kind of never know how to exactly address people in public, and it's a lot of like internal dialogue battle to live like that. um and it's also just like it's a lot of stress when you go to the public restroom and you're just like looking at them and they're like, which one am I supposed to go into today? And like just depending on how you're dressed and how you're presenting yourself and blah blah blah. I have like my nails kind of done. I don't know. It's whatever. Nobody gives me a problem regardless what restroom I go into because you're there to pee. You don't live in them, by the way. You actually go into restrooms to pee. Just letting people know. This has been a crazy time to be alive because we have people like Dr. Oz going on TV talking about transgender youth and like how these we're banning transgender care, across the board and whatever for like Medicaid coverage and other things, right? Because these kids, they're getting vaginoplasties for $60,000, and then phalloplasty costs even more. It costs $150,000 for every child. Let us look into the numbers, shall we? There have been 150 gender affirming surgeries in the United States for youth, not necessarily transgender youth. Gender affirming surgeries, 146 of them were guys getting their chest reduced because they had that condition that they grew a chest. 146 of them were guys getting their chest reduced because they had like that hypo whatever. 146 of them were guys getting their chest reduced. 4 of them were sexual reassignment surgeries for people that were 17 years old. California is a weird place. I don't know if it was California. I don't know if, but like, the odds are they were somebody that was on like blockers, like puberty blockers. They already knew what they were doing. But yeah, great. We're making such a big deal about something that is very, very minute. If we're being honest, we as a country torture people for fun. I mean, like look at the Ice Agents. Yeah, I mean, not to get political, not to get into all that. I don't even want to focus on that. That's the average American take is, I'm not thinking about that. I'm going to talk about alligators and crocodiles whenever we open Alligator Auschwitz and Panera Bread. What's the difference between the... Right? That's where I want to be. That's where I'd like to be. No, I don't really want to be there. I'd rather these bad things not be going on, right? Anyway, I digress. It's just really frustrating because I know just how much of the legal battles and hoops and the logistics of government control and trans healthcare this year have been absolutely mortifyingly maybe mortifying is not the right word. It's just been terrifying. It's been literally like too much for some people, and my whole community stressed. I'm sure most trans women have aged a couple years this year just putting up with what they had to with this administration. And we have Pam Bondi wanting to do bonds for like cash payments for people to turn in, anybody that's LGBT advocates kind of thing. Which, is it going to be a real thing? Is it going to be to that level at my existence as a trans woman? How am I supposed to like not be grossed out by that? being something that's proposed kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Um, so yeah, this has just literally been like the path of least resistance would be, I don't even know at this point, because I can't stop hormones. I think people kind of know that these changes are pretty irreversible. They are reversible in enough time, but it's going to cause health complications and other things, and I already have that going on. And like, I still wonder the 2 years off hormones if that caused me problems because of the grief that I had to go through with everything. So I feel kind of horrible for the people that have pushed themselves to like detransition because of the political climate of things. And I don't think it's that many people. In fact, I talked to some people that like reassure me that there are still people coming in to clinics and asking for hormone replacement, that fresh new patients, even with everything going on in the world. That's how much like this is actually effective. Like to pressure a group and to like make my life difficult as a trans person that's already been trans, and to show everyone else this is how difficult it is for people to be trans now. People don't care. And in fact, the more you talk about trans people, the more trans people there's going to be. There's going to be more people that are like, "Oh, that's a thing? I'm going to do that," you know? Does that make sense? Um I think largely the anti-trans policies are hurting cis women more than trans women. Um Most trans women don't even look guy, right? And there are more women that look guy than trans women than you realize, probably, unless like if you live in like some weird convoluted world that like all you do is look at like adult magazines and like you're like, yeah, that's a woman. Oh, that's a woman. And you go online and you like look at the adult entertainment and like, oh, that's a woman. And you don't like see women in public, like you don't know what like women actually look like, then you might not realize that there are some manly looking women out there. And so these anti-trans policies, and like it's not only hurting us, but like men don't really care if they're being mean to us or you. Let's look at history. When did women start voting again? I mean, so like this is this is the thing. These policies are just like, it's kind of just ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous to see like how blown out of a proportion these transgender surgeries for minors. Listen, like there's been more mass shootings this year than transgender surgeries for minors. By what? 400 times? By 100 times? By over 100 times, right? There's been over 100 times the amount of mass shootings this year. Yeah, like can we like, I don't know. Can we just stop with this whole, and this is like such unpopular politics, but like if you're in this community and you have to experience this day in and day out and you have to watch the news and try to like follow along and just see, am I losing my coverage for hormones today? Oh, are my doctors going to go to jail for helping me? Like keep helping me keep like stable and sane and right? Like I don't think like anybody understands. You don't want to see all these trans people detransition. The only way you get away with that is like mass incarceration, and you do it outside of the public eye because like people are going to go fucking insane. Quite literally, like they're going to lose their minds, and you're not going to want to be around that. Like we're stable as we are. I mean, or as stable as we can be, how we are. Like we didn't just decide like one day like, oh yeah, we're gonna go out and we're gonna do hard drugs or whatever. We chose the lesser evil. I mean, people have had their own internal dialogues. This was actually part of my entire. I was like, do I kill myself with these certain like drugs? Like, I don't think I want to do that. You know. So, the lesser of evils. Is it necessarily that I want to be a woman, or that I, just don't want to be a guy that bad? And I think it's more of this than that. But at the same time, society has to see you as this or that. And I think the closer I get to that, the closer I become to woman, the better off my life ends up being. Like the closer, it's just like I've already put in this much work. I'm going this direction. I do not want to be this in any regard, right? Does that make sense? I'm not trying to like take away anything from womanhood, right? I'm not trying to make women feel less woman, right? I'm trying to get as far away from this, right? Does that make sense? I mean, it's a mix of things. It's a mix of a lot of different things in my head of like where I'm at and where like there's so many different facets to it. And this is why we need therapy. This is why, and like when people say, "Oh, you need a therapist." Yes, I know I do need a therapist and I am in therapy. um and when I talk my things over, it's like refreshing to actually be able to like, but at the same time it's just like I do what I can with what I can. um Living in fear constantly has not been paying off, and I feel like the political strategy of this year has just been to overwhelm a community, make them overthink things, make them stress so much that it affects their health in a negative way, and see if they can, and just engineering people to hate us for them kind of thing. And it's so kind of sickening that now I go from a place of, I've said it before, where I've been in society, somebody that has like been like an experience when people meet me and they love to like talk to me and they love to have like exchanges. Overall, I'm not saying everyone, but now it's kind of done a shift to like people think that I am now lesser than man. I am now lesser than woman. And in my own personal opinion, I am much, much more than either. That's my own personal opinion. I don't, I don't go out of my way to like every time I see someone drunk that I have to like, oh, you're like, oh, you're like, and you're destroying yourself and whatever. Like, I don't go out of my way every time I see someone with this practicing religion being like, oh, you're like a certain way and like, does that make sense? Like, why is it okay to attack a minority group though? Is it just because it's a new thing? Is it fun? It's something else to do. You can't attack any other groups kind of thing, so you have to go after us. What is it exactly? Can anybody explain that? Anybody that doesn't like trans people haven't even made it this far in the video. They're just gonna leave a comment and be like, oh well, I agree. Anybody can do whatever they want, but keep your penis out of the women's room. It's like nobody. Does your wife live in the bathroom? What do you mean? I think you should understand that most trans women are like the cleanest and probably the least likely to be in a bathroom for any amount of duration. They're like terrified. You've terrified us. What are we gonna do? We're gonna run in. We're gonna run out. And it's like, I don't know. It's a weird time. I really hope this neck starts feeling better before surgery. I hope that I hope that the world starts making a little bit more sense here soon. I hope people start getting their sense about them. I realize some time ago when we found out that most of these Twitter accounts that are anti-trans, MAGA group, whatever, that they are overseas and they're just like some Arab dude leaving transphobic comments. They have two friends on Facebook. They're going out of their way to like harass you kind of thing. I wish Facebook could have changed their policies in such a way that they didn't allow such harassment to this community in this time, because that has just been a lot. We already like stay away from the public light for the most part. Some of us, a lot of us, we stick in our own bubbles. We stick within our own communities, and we can't even be safe in those anymore. Does that make sense? You go to church, you sit down, you worship, you have your moment. You're able to get your break from the world. We don't get that you go to your book club, you go to your friends, you sit down and you go to the bar, you watch the game at your friend, we don't have that. We have our community and like our sense of community. Like does any of this resonate with anybody that like we don't even have like the confidence of interacting with each other in these like social media platforms because of like the amount of harassment that we've gone under? I really hope at some point there is some sort of reparations for trans people. I'm not holding my breath. This year has been ridiculous. This year has been beyond ridiculous, and like I've said before, like anybody that started transitioning more recently and you haven't been able to experience the world prior to everyone having knowledge of everyone trans kind of thing, like just being able to like live your life and be yourself kind of thing, and not have to like overly fear for your safety every time you go for in the public. There's these extra things, like you see someone with a Confederate flag shirt on. Well, you they don't know if you're this way or that. Like, it's like you don't have to worry or stress. You can just kind of walk by them. Now you kind of have to walk around them. Now you want to just like avoid them. If they got the red hat, you kind of have to go out of their way. You don't want to be harassed for existing. It's what these people do. It's literally what they exist to do still. Like, if you're still supporting this group, it's because of there's only a couple things you are still, and none of them are really good. So it's just kind of like, that's where we're at. And that's my take on it anyway. I don't like being political. I don't care for the Democrats. I don't care for these political two-sided system. I don't like that everything has to be either you like this or you're hardcore this way. Like, I don't like any of that. I like the rational debate. I like to understand what I'm like talking about. I don't like to have to be like fit into a certain cookie cutter shape. I like personality and dynamics. If everyone showed up to the Jesus manger and they brought frankincense, right? That wouldn't be very fun. So why are we trying to make everyone carry frankincense right now? Why can't some people have myrrh? Hmm? Does that make sense? Does that resonate with anyone here? I don't know. I just don't know like what like the big takeaway of like everything should be, because like literally we like as a community we had the fear of the FBI classifying us as terrorists. We now have the the Pam Bondi doing the whatever for the LGBTQ advocates. What does that mean exactly? Who know, like literally my doctors are it is like it's an LGBT doctor's office essentially, and it's great. It's one of the best places ever, and these doctors are amazing. They go above and beyond what your doctors probably do. I don't want to get into all the details, but like my doctor goes so far out of their way to make sure that I have care that I've never felt more confident with a physician in my life. So much so that I'd drive an hour away, 36 miles away. That's like I don't know. I don't if that's not care, then I don't know what is, because the people around here I cannot even trust to like a fourth of the level of like the thoroughness of like what my doctors go through. So there have been points that I just kind of juggled around with doctors and my care probably wasn't the best, but now I have like such a good doctor. So it's just like you don't know what you're talking about if you're not living it, right? Um it's unfortunate that we live in such hostile times, and I know there are people out there that aren't so gung ho on breaking down and chopping down your fellow man kind of thing. Um, some people love trans people. Some people absolutely love the idea of trans people, and when I meet them online on like chat forums and whatever, it's a totally different experience. And I mean, but like, I take everyone with a grain of salt, because I know some people just want, a certain thing. I've had certain experiences that I feel like if I could sit down with a cis woman and explain these things, then like their concept of like dating and men and everything with them is going to be a little bit different. Um, and vice versa. I mean, like, honestly, vice versa. I kind of like, I mean, I feel like I just have like a lot of knowledge, and in a way I feel like I'm kind of bridging the gap between the two genders kind of thing. And like society doesn't want that, because they need this hardcore, like, you're a guy, you need to go to the bar, you need to drink, you need to go home, you need to drive a truck, you need to have manual labor, and you need to, and like that kind of like thing. I have health problems that I would never be able to accomplish any of that. Why not just let me be me, right? Um, but at the same time, it's like women have to stay home, they have to cook, and they have to, right? This whole like trope, right? And So what do trans people do? They literally are a mishmash of like kind of both. Some trans women are mechanics that go home and they wash the dishes and like I mean, it's like I don't know. I don't know what I'm getting at here. It's like we're variety is the spice of life. I've said it a million times. I think you should allow people to be who they are without canceling their cancer research funding, without like stepping on their healthcare and just putting your foot down and just like squashing them, right? The people that know me love me, and I think it's scary because you think everyone's going to transition, and that's not the case. The most likely chance of that happening though is if you go on TV every day and say transgender for everybody. That's kind of when more people are like, "Oh, what's a transgender?" I've said that before too. And then they start going down the rabbit hole, and then they're like, "Oh, and now they can." So you're just making it that people like me have a more difficult time receiving care, and that's the goal. Cruelty is the goal. I'm not sure if people understand that like the policies and just everything that's coming out it's a scare factor. They know that some of the stuff's not going to get through, but they're going to announce it and they're going to make you scared. If you don't understand the legal system enough, then you're going to internalize these things and you're going to have like a certain upset when interacting with the rest of the world. And the craziest thing of all is, given all that the trans community has gone through this year, I have to kind of leave it on this, that like since the Kirk incident, since they blamed us for the transgender bullets, nobody has done anything. Isn't that crazy? Since then and now, that was September 10th, and now we're almost at Christmas, and there has not been one. There's not been one transgender related crime. And for the whole narrative to have been that, for my news feed to continuously be, this guy did something to children, this guy did something to children, this guy did something, and it's like nonstop all day, and I'll see like 5 different people that did something to, and like all in one day. It's just like all in one day. And you get to see all these different, oh, and this mass shooting, and this mass shooting, oh, and this one happened, and this person still, and this person killed, and it's like, none of them are trans. Statistically, when you want to like leave us alone because like I just feel like the pressure is to make us violent. And I'm not saying like, I if I saw a news story of it happening, I wouldn't even be surprised. But at the same time, nobody's going out of their way to become this like. That's where I'm at with it. Like it's just like you're doing everything you can to make us. We're playing chess, and you're doing everything to make us move a certain piece, and we're not. Like, so I think that's a testament to like what we like believe in and how much we care about living, and we don't want to like ruin our lives, and like we've already put in enough work into ourselves. We don't want to like screw stuff up. And just to have to continue to live like this is just disgusting. And like I'm sure before my surgery there's going to be 9 new things that come up that are like there's this anti-trans and this bill is going to make it, and because like there's already like a bill in the one state, New Hampshire I think it is, that like banning trans women from using bathrooms, not trans men though, because they're okay. It's literally just personal attacks. They're literally just going out of their way to make us feel a certain way. The thing I can tell other trans women that are out there is that live your life. Time's finite. I know fear's real with things, but like you could die from like a stroke. Like you could die from like a something. It's like literally today. Live your life. I will say, as somebody that has lived in fear and has like dwelled on things and gotten down about their health and taken time away from people and just like just lived in a bubble, right? Do everything you can to live your life to the fullest. We're only here for so long, right? And I think that applies to everybody. Go out and live your best life. Go test drive that car. If you're not going to buy it, test drive it. I mean, go out and taste the food now. Like, can you imagine the day that you're on your deathbed and you're just like, all these years, all these days that have passed, and you look back at this year and you're looking at your phone and you're thinking, oh, and what's next? Oh, and he said this on a tweet. Oh, and he said this to somebody. He told people to drink bleach a couple years ago. We don't need to like care about what they said anymore. I know it's like, but like it's sickening to have to see that my loved ones just consumed by, oh, and did you see what he said about the celebrity and the, it's like, yes, I know. He's horrible. It's all horrible. But like, live your life. You're allowed to like participate this in the Vanity Fair pictures of Pam Bondi and her lip injections and looking worse than any trans woman that I've ever seen in my lifetime. But like, you're allowed to participate and make your comments and do these things. But live your life. Okay? The best thing you can do is to thrive. And if you can't thrive, at least survive. But in the meantime, don't let it all consume you. That's when it starts to take a toll. Don't get the gray hairs because you read the words on the magic telephone, right? Anyway, I don't know. Just a little bit of a frustration with this point in time. Where I'm at with surgery, I'm 35 days away. I continue to search every single day. Every single day. If I'm going to somehow lose this, if things have changed, what's going to happen? Is there some sort of, are there changes in my state? Is there anything going on with the hospital? Have they made threats to ban funding for doing any sort of gender affirming? Like, literally every single day for 109 days since I was approved for surgery, in the window that I should have known I am safe for surgery, I should not have to stress anymore. And I've been doing nothing but stressing. And I'm getting to the point where it's peak flu season. It's December and January. And my surgery is January 23rd. 35 days away. Don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm doing everything I can to put up a wall and not feel like I am done. I'm going to have this done. I am for sure getting it done. And I'm in the safe zone because there's still a chance that I'm going to end up getting sick. There's still a chance that I end up with like an injury in my neck. There's still a chance that I can't make it out there because of snow. There's still a chance that the surgeon gets sick and has to cancel. There's still a chance that, there's so many variables at play that feel far beyond my control, but I only have a certain amount of grasp on these situations. And I'm doing everything within my power to make this happen. I wish things could have happened in a season where I didn't have to take zinc and make my stomach sick. Et cetera, et cetera. Life goes on. That's the joy of living, is you get to experience these things. Even the bad is great because once you get through the bad, you can appreciate the good. There are linings to every negative and positive in your life. And I'm somebody that loves bad experiences in a way, because when this year started, when the president got in, when they did the salute, but like when they threw up the salute, and I'm just like, I know what this is going to be like, and it's going to be hard. But I know my most character building moments are when things are rough. And I was thankful in the moment that I now have to go through another wave of character development that I could never achieve if things were smooth and easy. You have to continue your own life. You have to develop as a person. Nobody's going to do that for you. Do what you can in your own space and time to understand that like you're making something more of yourself. You're making something more happen with everything that's going on. And you're learning, and that's great. In a day and age where learning is frowned upon, do as much as you can to possibly soak in knowledge. Use credible sources. I highly recommend listening to Anton Petrov on YouTube. I listen to them every night because I love science news. And can I repeat any sort of like lessons that I've learned from them? Hardly. I'm not smart enough to like relay what I hear, but yeah. I think the takeaway for this one is leave trans people alone. It hurts you more than it hurts us. As a whole, statistically, we are 1%, you are 99%. Out of that, what, 47, 48% are biological women, right? Cisgender women. How many of them are getting impacted by these strange rules and policies? And do you care? As a guy, do you care that they are getting hurt? I'll see you in the next video. And yeah, let's let's try to be good people, right? Let's be thankful, grateful, and blessed that we are still here on this rock. Do you know how hard it is for life to develop in space? Appreciate this world, take care of this world, take care of others, and I will see you in the next one.